and we'll start with the gratitude. Dear friends, mark it very, very important. Many people run behind the knowledge, information. So the first step in the life is your gratitude. When you are thankful for something, then the knowledge comes, love comes automatically. Let's take an example. Please mute yourself. Please mute yourself, everyone. I have to mute all. So, many of the times you must have seen that a lady who gets married, she is not taught how to take care of the kid. First thing comes is the gratitude. She gets surrendered, or she gets in respect with the family and the husband. She gets surrendered. She's in gratitude that I'm thankful that I'm getting married and I'm coming to this family. She's in a deep gratitude, and because of that she comes in the love comes out of that, and she wants to gift a baby to the husband and the family. So first step comes gratitude, then comes love, and then she gets pregnant, and when she gets the kid, she automatically learns how to take care of the baby. She doesn't have to go somewhere and learn it. There is no school, I have seen that, where people teach how to upbring the child. Maybe in the future it may come, but that is people, some people so they learn automatically how to take care of the kid. So gratitude leads to love and care, and when the love and care comes, automatically the knowledge starts flowing, information starts coming. Nature, you will not find anywhere that when you go to a mango tree, there is a huge notebook written there, book written there, where they talk about the benefits of mango and all the procedure. This is what we human beings have created. Nature, nothing is there. If you go to other species like buffalo or elephant, they don't write anything and keep the scriptures hereditary. They just learn by nature. They just learn by nature. They don't have to, there is no school of training or teaching. No, it just happens naturally. Cheetah, they don't train their okay, so baby how to jump and crawl and all that stuff. Maybe a snake, maybe any. You might not have seen any snake training that how to safeguard themselves, or how to snake bite, or put the venom and all that stuff. Only in the human beings we come across so many books, so many literature, so many scriptures. Why it is happening? Because we all have forgotten the basic principle of gratitude. In olden times, it used to get transferred from eye to eye contact. Then they don't want to utter also. There is a very powerful topic called as a power of silence that we'll be taking in the other session. So all these rishis and munis, right? Maybe Vagbhat, or maybe Patanjali, or maybe Charak, or maybe any other rishi, you must be Chavan, or any rishis that I will be talking some other day. So all these rishis, how they used to learn, they used to be in gratitude with the nature. They used to sit, relax, and they used to connect the cosmos. And that is how they used to download and learn the things. There will be someone who used to learn in the beginning. Now, someday has to, these scriptures must have started. All these Vedas must have started someday. So that is the nature's way. So gratitude is very, very powerful, and it is the foundation of everything. It is the foundation of everything. So gratitude is the first thing. So let's start with the gratitude. Then we'll go for the affirmation. There is a sheet. The affirmation sheets are there. You all can message me. I can send you all the affirmation sheets. Okay, and then the goal. And today we are going to talk about very, very powerful science, and that is what has to be how to cook the food. Very, very powerful. How to cook the food we'll learn today, and tomorrow we'll learn what to mix, what not to mix. So we are going to, in this session, rituals, we are going to talk about the mind, we'll talk about the food, we'll talk about the relation, we'll talk about the wealth, we'll talk about the overall development. Okay, friends? So please close your eyes. Start the session. Thank you all my gurus. Thank you all my masters. Thank you all my teachers for giving me the knowledge and wisdom. Thank you, Mother Nature. Thank you for teaching us and giving us everything. Thank you, my dear parents, for giving me a beautiful life. Thank you for beautiful environment. Thank you for such a wonderful dress. Thank you to my heart for pumping the blood 24/7 non-stop. Thank you, thank you. Thank you to my intestine for processing the food, assimilation and all. Thank you to my respiratory system for helping my body to absorb the oxygen. Thank you to the blood for keeping the regulation in the body. Thank you to my eyes so that I can see everything very clearly. Thank you to the body for being with me 24/7. Thank you, your body. Thank you. It's so powerful. This is the Jivan Sathi. People call Jivan Sathi. I call this body as a Jivan Sathi. First primary Jivan Sathi. Okay. Primary Jivan Sathi. So once your gratitude is done, let's go to the affirmations. We'll talk about the affirmation. I'm just reading personal affirmation. I approve of myself. There are many affirmations. One for personal, health, wealth, success, career, relationships. Okay. Life motivation. Okay. Live livelihood, self-development. So many affirmations are there. Yeah. You all can Google it and you all can find. Now I'm going to talk about the personal affirmations. I approve of myself. I deserve all good. I am worthy of a wonderful life. I easily release the past and move forward with joy. I love and accept myself exactly the way I am. I repeat again. I love and accept myself exactly the way I am. My dear friends, self-acceptance is very, very important. Very, very important. Okay, so let's go to the next part. Now we will be entering in the knowledge sharing, and I will share here today. It's 7:15 around. Only 15 minutes are left with us. So sometime you have to go in silence. You have to find some time to go in silence. Maybe morning 10 minutes, maybe morning 15 minutes, or evening 10 minutes, 15 minutes, when you are with yourself. Just talk to yourself, just think about yourself, what is going well in the life and what is not going well in the life. What thoughts or circumstances disturbs you? And what thoughts or circumstances makes you feel happy? It is very, very crucial to understand. Okay. Now this may be the thoughts, this may be the people, this may be the food also. You have to find out what kind of food is making you happy and what kind of food is not making you happy. Now people say that if food is less about the emotion and more about the body. But the truth is something different. It is more about the emotions and less about the body. You have to be very conscious eater. If you are not aware, then obviously your emotions will be much stronger. But when you're conscious and aware eater, in that circumstance, your emotions plays more role than your food composition. So let's learn when to understand what to eat. That is very, very essential. So how to cook the food we are going to talk about today. Every molecule has a different functional groups. So we'll explain some basic functional groups. What are they? They are the bonds. So you all can Google and search it later on. Simple single bond, if it is between carbon and carbon, it is called as alkane. If it is a double bond, it is called as alkene. If it is a triple bond, it is called as alkyne. It is a chemistry, food chemistry, which I'm going to talk about you, because all this energy is stored in the bonds. Okay. If there is a OH group, we call it as alcohol. If there is a OH to the aromatic ring, we call it as phenol. Aldehydic group, ketonic group, carboxylic group, ester group, amide group. So many different types of functional groups are there. This is one single functional group. Now your food molecule, okay, all this, the molecules which are there, the giant molecules, they may have one or multiple functional group. Now when they have a huge group, body has to break them down into small units. Big unit, small unit, as simple as, if you want to eat carrot, will you take the whole carrot and eat it? You have to cut it, you have to chew it, and then you have to assimilate it. Am I right? Similar way, when you talk about the molecules, body has no meaning in that. Body has to break down these molecules. So when you are having food, you have to be very conscious or aware that these molecules which you are eating are not degraded or distorted. Their intensity has to be maintained. They has to be maintained properly. So when they get destroyed, first factor is temperature. First factor is temperature. You have to cook food at a very slow flame. Do not put it under very high temperature, because molecules gets broken. They break. Okay. So they break, and when they break, what happens? They lose their true nature. So that is the first and the most important criteria. The food has to be cooked at a very low temperature. Number two, it has to be cooked at the atmospheric pressure. Now what I mean by atmospheric pressure? Whatever the atmospheric pressure is there. Mountain areas, exceptional. That we'll talk later on. But normal, I'm talking about the region. Okay. So when you cook at an atmospheric pressure, molecules gets cooked slowly. When you use a pressure cooker, the penetration is very fast, very high, and that doesn't work. So food cooked in a pressure cooker, maybe the molecules are getting destroyed, maybe to some extent. High temperature, high pressure is not advisable. In many of the scriptures, they have mentioned that your rasoi ghar, where you make food, cook food, it must have the contact with the sunlight. Sunlight should come there directly. Why they say like that? Because when the sunlight comes, okay, it kills a lot of germs which are there, the bacteria which are there. And when it is in contact with the sunlight, okay, it's good for the food which is getting cooked. Next thing they say that there has to be a spurts of air. So the place has to be well ventilated. So where you are cooking, it has a sunlight, it should have a sunlight. It should have well ventilated, air should come there in enough quantity. Third, I said temperature has to be lower. And fourth thing I said, the pressure has to be at the atmospheric level. So these four primary conditions are there when you are cooking the food. So let's say modern system where people are cooking the food, how it is. It is one of the corner of the room where there is no ventilation, no sunlight, there is bulb, and there is a chimney above. So again here, they use the pressure cooker, aluminium or zinc or some other vessels. So that is not advisable. Now, if you are using or making food in this way, immediately you will not come to know, but maybe in a long run, you may understand that what is happening. And don't trust me. Don't trust me. I want you all to experiment and do it. So how to do it? Task for today is you have to make, let's say you want to make a khichdi, simplest thing to experiment. You make khichdi in a pressure cooker. Okay. So take 80% of vegetables, 20% of grain, maybe any grain you want, maybe white rice, maybe brown rice, maybe anything, okay, or maybe millets, whatever you want. So make a ratio of 80-20, make a khichdi in the pressure cooker and eat it and feel it how it looks. Second, suppose in the afternoon you made this khichdi by using the pressure cooker and you taste it, you feel it how it makes your body. Second thing what you all can do is you can take a steel vessel, okay, or you can take a mitti ka bartan, whatever is available, okay, or anodized, whatever. Maybe iron is a better one, okay, iron, copper vessels are a better options, or steel, whatever. And you can cook on a very slow flame and open container. Usko dhakkan you can put on that. Take 80% of the raw vegetables, okay, and 20% of the grain as same ingredients, everything same, ditto same, okay, and cook on a very low flame and allow it to get cooked for half an hour or whatever the time it takes depending on the type of the grains you have taken. And then you take this khichdi and you try to eat it and see the difference, what happens to the body. Don't go by what I say, don't go by somebody else. Your body can tell you the best, neither me, nor you, nor some third person. Whatever you are eating, you feel what your body says, and then you can take a decision what is right, what is wrong. When I had been to Jagannath Puri, and there still they all make the bhog in the mitti ka bartan, earthenwares. And the science behind that earthenware is mitti is not a good conductor. It is a very bad conductor of heat. So when they cook in that, the ingredients of the food, the first of all, we should take less cooked food. But when we have to go for the cooked food, there is a science behind it as per the scriptures. They used to cook food in the earthen vessels, earthen pots, and it remains for a longer time. It remains for a very long time. The nutritional values is maintained. That is so powerful. If you have been to there, very good. If not, I highly recommend you all to visit sometime, go there and see that how the food has to be cooked. How the food has to be cooked. One time cooked food is okay. If you want to eat 2 times, it's totally your choice. But our body doesn't require much food. Okay. So today what did we learn? We'll sum up. First we did gratitude. I said gratitude is the seed of everything in the life. If you're not thankful, then the chances are very, very less that you get the knowledge, you get the love, you are in the love personification, your aura, all these things, the chances are very, very less that the whole life you will keep taking action, but the output and the results will not be very good or better. You have to be in a gratitude. You have to be in a thankful mode. So gratitude first thing. Second thing I said affirmation. Third thing I said goal setting or writing the goals every day. Fourth thing is the victory logbook. And today we talked about how to cook food. Okay, and 4 parameters I talked about that. First parameter is atmospheric pressure. Second, I said room temperature. Third, I said, or it has to be lower temperature. Slowly you have to cook it. Third, I said the light should come to your kitchen where you are cooking food. And fourth thing I said, requirement is it has to be well ventilated. So these 4 things are very, very important for your cooking place where you are cooking food. It has a very high nutritive value. It is so powerful. So what is the task for today? Task for today is you have to do an experiment. You have to cook food in 2 different ways. One in a pressure cooker, your regular way you cook, and second, the way I said. Take a steel vessel, okay, open container, make some sabji or khichdi in that at a low flame, 80% vegetables, 20% grains. You can have with this chutney or whatever. Somebody likes ghee, have ghee, whatever the way you want, make khichdi. You can have moong ka khichdi, whatever the way you want. It's totally up to you. You can make the khichdi the way you want. Don't mix a lot of things. Have one kind of grain and 2 types of the vegetables, not more than that. So you can have palak and moong khichdi. You can have whatever the way you want. It's totally up to you. Okay. And taste it, feel it, understand it, and share with me your learning. How did you feel? I can guarantee you 100% that a food cooked in a pressure cooker and a food cooked in an open vessel will have a different taste. I have tried with the induction cooker. Okay, so when I cook on the induction, when I cook on the micro oven, when I cook on a pressure, and when I cook on an open vessel, the taste is different. The taste is totally different. So you all can try as well. Don't go by what I say. Don't go by what someone else say. Go by what you experience. Life is all about the experience. Okay, friends. So thank you so much. You all have my email ID. You all have my WhatsApp number. You all have my Telegram number. See you all in the next session. Thank you so much. If any queries, feel free to ask. Put in the chat box if any queries. Otherwise, we'll close the session. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.